Hi.
Mazel tov. How'd you make it? All right.
We made it. We plunged it a little, but we made it.
Start out okay.
Looked at
I'd
it.
like those directions to be rewritten, please. No pictures, please. Speak to my agent. Speak to my agent. Thank you. Hey, together. Okay. I guess it's
What?
Where are they going to have the bris after?
The bris will be in the over the end. I'll have the reception here. Yeah, they have a big congregation here.
Yeah, I can't believe that, because they have a couple in Highland Park. Taking my picture. Your son here too? I never
Yeah. Hi.
jacket?
Thank you.
I don't want to be videoed.
I want to go. Where is Diane and Karen?
We're looking for.
Yeah, well, look.
I'm hiding. I don't want to be on camera.
Where's your husband?
Go away. My husband's studying. That's coming up.
Shirley's here. She's looking for you, Dean.
I told you. You told me. I don't remember.
Hi.
That's so sad.
What a bracha.
I gotta go.
You still have your venture from Panama and confuse people every now and then.
Every now and then we take it out and we say, okay, here's what you're doing this. Okay.
What time did you get up?
Jerry, what are you doing?
I'll be damned if I know.
Clarence, turn around. Turn
Hello, Mom. I took pictures.
Come on.
No.
Yeah, when you shoot to the wrist, shoot
I
to
know.
the belly button
I
up,
know.
only
I
clean
know.
pictures.
I know.
You hold your knees together. Make the issue when you hear me say Amen, you say Amen and then give up.
He doesn't give you too much time to play around.
Fast, no. Not much to he is excellent. Come to load a kid.
Someone makes the brachos. Oh, you're going to see.
Sorry.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidash yedid mi beten d'chok b'sherosam tzetzav l'samros bris kodesh Akein b'snarzal sechai chalkeinu tzireinu tzavei gatzil yedidu shereinu mishachas L'man b'risor asher sam nisareinu Baruch atah Adonai karei sabri Eloheinu Eloseinu chayim esiyad azeh avivu imo v'yikarei shmo b'Yisrael Yoshua Chaneshchamo ben Yom Michael, Yismach Lav Yatzeh Chalatza, V'saglima, V'frivitna, Chakasu Yismach Lavicha V'mech V'sagya Yogadetecha, V'nemar V'emar Alayat V'rech V'sposeses V'domayim, V'amalach V'domayim Chayim, V'amalach V'domayim Chayim, V'nemar Zacharam Misal Davarti V'alevdar, Asher karastas Avraham u'shvasul Yitzchak, v'videl Yaakov v'chak Yisrael v'Yisrael, v'demar v'yamal Avraham Yitzchak v'nao ben shmona zamim kasher tirol salihim. Hazul Adonai kitov Adonai kitov kilam kasto, Adonai kitov kilam kasto. Yoshua Chaneshchamo ben Yom Michael, Zekatonim Kadayeh,
Amen.
At Brisses, as is the custom at Brisses, I'm going to say a few words about who the baby was named after. His name, if you didn't catch it, is Yehoshua Elchanan Shlomo. A mouthful. Before I do that, I just want to take a couple minutes to give a few thank yous out. First of all, I want to thank God for everything He's given us. First with Ari and now with little baby Joshi. For the record, it's Joshi. Tax purposes, Joshua Solomon. No more junior. Full-fledged Jew now. Secondly, I want to thank both of our parents. Many of you, I'm sure, remember that he was born about 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, and I had called them about 7 in the morning and told them it's coming, and they said, okay, we're on our way, and they brought Shabbos, they brought food, they brought everything. They didn't even ask questions, and I just want to thank them for that and everything else they've done, because they've just been incredible. Second of all, I want to thank my wife, Karen, for giving me this beautiful child. And she always tells me that she cooks Thursday night because she never knows what Friday will bring. And now you can understand what could happen on a Friday afternoon. So we did have Shabbos anyway, even though my parents brought it. We were all prepared. But anyway, to the name. Before Ari was born, we decided to reserve the right to the first name of any child. We figured we'd get some new names in circulation for future generations. So unlike Ari here, we picked a name. We picked Yehoshua just basically because we thought it was a beautiful name. This past weekend I was looking for something about Yehoshua. Maybe there's something related to a bris, and I saw a couple of nice things, and so they do relate to having the bris on the 8th day. Although he's going to be a month old tomorrow, but there's a little idea of Yehoshua being the eighth generation from Abraham to perform the bris, and of course Yehoshua who wrote the last 8 psukim of the Torah after Moshe passed away. Elchanan is named after my grandfather, my mother's father, and although I never knew him, he passed away several years before I was born. He did leave a lot and a lot of things to be able to look up to that he did. One of the most amazing things I found about him is that this is I don't know the exact numbers, but it would have been his roughly in the range of 50 or 60th great-grandchild, and that comes from 3 children, which is a pretty amazing fact, statistic actually. And what's even, as amazing as that is, I think what's even more amazing is that every single one of those great-grandchildren are being brought up in a true Torah home, Shomer Mitzvos, and it's just amazing in today's day and age that you can say that about so many kids. One of the few things I do remember about him was every Friday afternoon we'd walk over to my bubby's apartment with challis for Shabbos that my mother would bake. And the plaque in the hallway, we would walk into him by the white shul in Far Rockaway with a shofar on it, and he was the Baal Tokeya in the white shul for many years. And my mother was always bugging me about, why don't you start doing a shofar? And thank God we have plenty of capable people in this shul that we'll see, maybe one day. Like I said, he was one of the founders of the White Shul in Far Rockaway. When it really was the White Shul, it used to be just a little house and it was painted white. Sort of like here, it's acronyms for shuls there, it's the colors, I guess. He was on the committee that brought Rabbi Pelkovitz over from Ohio many years ago. And everybody knows, I'm sure, heard of Rabbi Pelkovitz, and the great man that he is, and who just recently went into retirement, so he's been around a long time. Moving on to the last name, Shlomo was Karen's grandfather, Karen's father's father, and I did meet him once, though it was in the hospital just a little while before he passed on, and didn't really spend too much time with him. We were just dying to go out, and looking to the future and say, maybe just meet my grandfather, and so and from what I remember, it was he was good spirits and seemed like a real fun kind of guy. Just one story, one incident about him that I'm reminded of. A couple of years ago, my in-laws were honored at the Young Israel Far Rockaway Shul dinner held at the White Shul, and he relayed one incident that I guess I could probably say, if not for that, then we may not be here today. He talked about when I don't remember if it was when he first enlisted in the army or when he was sent over to Korea a little bit after the war, that he was, packed all his bags, had everything, and was ready to go when his father told him, here, take this, you may need it one day. And kind of it was filling. And sure enough, when he got to wherever he was going, he found people looking for a minyan, and he was able to help them out. And I guess the rest speaks for itself. He didn't grow up in a true frum household like we know today, but obviously, he came through, and he came a long way. And if not for that little incident, who knows what would have been. So for that, I'm grateful. And so once again, I just want to thank everybody for coming and all the support everybody's given since day one. That the phones were off the hook. What can I get you? What can I do? The beaker phone, the closet in the hospital came in handy for a few lunches. We'll have to replenish that. But again, I just want to thank everybody for everything. And I'm going to ask Rabbi Lubin.
It's a very special pleasure to be able to speak at this very wonderful simcha, newborn baby. Really, what Yoel said ties into the remarks that I had prepared. This month is the month of Nisan, the month of Geula. There is a link between Pesach and Bris Milah, and that is that Chazal tell us that Klal Yisrael were redeemed in the merit of Dam Pesach and Milah, in the merit of two mitzvahs of Bris Milah and Pesach, that they were redeemed from Mitzrayim. And the question is, what's the connection or the correlation between these two mitzvahs? And why were they specifically the mitzvahs which served as the basis for the Geula? There's also another connection between Pesach and Milah, and that is that both of them are mitzvahs aseh, they are positive mitzvahs, and the person who fails to fulfill those mitzvahs is chayav karet. He's cut off from the Jewish people. And these are the only two mitzvahs aseh where there is a chayav karet. Normally karet is reserved for mitzvahs los aseh, severe mitzvahs los aseh, but here you have the only two mitzvahs aseh that are a chayav karet. Why do these mitzvahs have that special distinction? And I think that the idea is, we read last week, we read in the Shira, in the Oz Yasher, we read, Zekeu v'anveyu elkei avi v'aromenu. This is my Father, and this is my God, and I will glorify Him. It's the God of my Father, and I will exalt Him. And what is the double statement here? That it's my Father, it's the God of my Father. And I think that the pshat of the pasuk is Zekeu v'anveyu. The Chazal say Zekeu means that they were able to point with their finger. because by Kriyas Yamsuf, HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed himself to the Jewish people, they were able to say Zek Heli. But so a person might think that the Jewish people, they saw the Rebbeinu Shalom in Kriyas Yamsuf, because I'll say Ras HaShivcha Yom HaShora Yecheskel Ben Buzi, that God revealed himself to the Jewish people even more than to the Navi Yecheskel. So then the person might think that he doesn't need to be part of the continuum of Klal Yisrael in order to achieve great religious heights. So immediately afterwards, the pasuk continues, "Kei Avi v'Aramenu." He's the God of my father. And Rashi says very beautifully, "Lo ani tchilas hakedusha." I am not the beginning of the kedusha, which is to say that even though the Jewish people were able to say Zek Heli at Kriyas Yamsuf, but it was only because they had come from their forefathers, from the Avos, that they had that sense of perspective, that they were able to appreciate the Zek Heli at Kriyas Yamsuf. And this is a fundamental aspect of being a Jew, is that Jewish people don't just all of a sudden come on the stage out of no place. We're part of a very, very long process, continuum, a historical process. And the two things that most significantly link us to Jewish history are Pesach, Dam Pesach and Dam Milah. Milah is, of course, the covenant that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made with Avram Avinu, covenant with the Jewish people, and Pesach is the beginning of the historical process of the creation of the Klal Yisrael. And therefore, if a person does not perform Dam Pesach or Dam Milah, he cuts himself off from being part of the body of Klal Yisrael. And that's why it was these two mitzvahs specifically that served as the basis for the Gula. And as we celebrate the bris of Yoshua, Elchanan, and Shlomo, after a name like that I have to write it down to remember. But when we celebrate such a wonderful bris, and Yoel just spoke about the fact that Shlomo and Elchanan were grandparents who really represented the finest in Jewish tradition. So we could say at this bris, Lo ani tchilas hakedusha. Yeshua, Elchanan Shlomo is not just that he's another Jewish child, but he's part of a long process, part of a great history of Klal Yisrael, and he's the next link in the chain that dates back 3,500 years ago to the original bris of Avram Avinu. And I think that this is particularly an appropriate thought for the Schwartz family, because Yoel and Karen are people that really have involved themselves in the community. They're here just a short time already. Karen has become a co-president of the sisterhood, and Yoel, I mentioned at the Shalom Zachar my admiration for Yoel. He's here every single day for a minyan. He's part of he's certainly part of the tzibor, and even the fact that they chose a house where they wanted to be near the shul, so they moved right across the street from the shul. But it was not just that they wanted to be across the street, but it was planned that they eventually will be able to be right next to the shul. It shows that their affinity for Kedusha, their desire to move as close as possible. But really, this is the type of family that they are, a family that really is devoted to Torah and mitzvahs, and has this tremendous sense of tzibor, and therefore, Baruch Hashem, they're able to celebrate the bris of Yeshua, Elchanan, and Shlomo, who now takes his place as part of the tzibor of Klal Yisrael. The Mir Hashem, their child should grow and develop and mature, and should indeed follow in the footsteps of parents and grandparents, great-grandparents, after who he is named. You should be able to live up to those models, and B'ez Hashem, you should see much nachas from him.
Mazel tov.
Put it on again. I have something to say here. We on? You on? Very nice. Young Karen have shown deep respect for their older brother by naming Yeshua Elchanan. So let's remember, Elchanan after the older brother.
I wanted to get it done, but it's been so hectic. I don't have enough to do it today. Thank you. Covering the wedding. I know. You only have one other wedding.
Can't commit suicide holding your breath.
Scary. You're right. You're right.
Should be with,
But I always
should be
feel
with a lot of
bad.
muscle.
Thanks. I always feel bad. Thanks for getting up.
You have a lot of nafta. You guys have a lot of nafta.
And then after that, we go to the regular message. And then in the middle, we stop and we're going to do some Arabic.
Was the youngest for 2 weeks.
We're trying to figure out what to get as baby presents. Because the cat will buy you everything. You don't know what is left from Toys R Us to get you.
$50 bond. We do the Schwartz thing, $50 bond. You only got to spend $25.
What's the difference? Why throw it out?
It's going to make a mess of the car.
Marlo's having to ship a lot of knockers.
With Shirley.
Simi.
Oh, wait. Let's put the scene for the...
Split the two.